Hello, Namaskar. I'm Mrinalini Vanarase, and I'm very happy to welcome all of you to iPower page and to this wonderful series called Tuesdays with. And the idea behind this series is to have a deep conversations with, or a heart-to-heart talk with, or to use a heavier word, sangoshki, with stalwarts working in different fields. And today we have a very special guest with us. Meet Dr. Dipti Gangavne.
Namaste. Hello, everyone.
I'm going to call her Dipti Madam, as I always do. And yes, so I think we are all very privileged to have her with us. She's a professor of philosophy. She recently retired as head of the department from Ferguson College. She is a philosopher, thinker. She is also a writer. त्यांचं नुकतंच एक पुस्तक प्रसिद्ध झालंय, युरोपीय तत्वज्ञानाच्या पाऊलखुणा. आणि ते पुस्तक वाचल्यापासून आणि गेली 2 वर्ष आम्ही एकत्र काम करतोय. तर तेव्हापासून माझ्या मनात होतं की अशा पद्धतीचं एक छान डिस्कशन आपल्यामध्ये व्हावं असं म्हणून. आणि आय एम व्हेरी हॅपी की आय एम नॉट अलोन इन दिस. आपण सगळे एकत्र मिळून हे बघतोय. मॅडमचे अनेक विद्यार्थी आहेत आणि त्यांना जेव्हा हे कळलं की शी इज कमिंग ऑनलाईन, तर आम्हाला खूप छान रिस्पॉन्स मिळाला सगळ्यांच्याकडून. आणि सगळ्यांनाच ऐकायचंय की मॅडम काय बोलणार आहेत ते. तर वन्स अगेन अ व्हेरी वॉर्म वेलकम टू यू मॅडम.
Thank you so much, Mruna. And one disclaimer before we begin, I'm neither a stalwart nor a philosopher. So let's just chat the way we chat about philosophy, the thing we love the most.
ओके, शी इज बिंग मॉडेस्ट, बट येस, ते लक्षण आहे स्टॉलवर्ट असल्याचं असं आपण समजूयात. ओके, या सो मी सुरुवातीलाच एक प्रश्न विचारणार आहे की जो ज्यांनी फिलॉसॉफी कधी अकॅडमिक ट्रेनिंगचा भाग म्हणून ज्याचा अभ्यास केला नाहीये त्या सगळ्यांच्या मनामध्ये तो असतो. इनफॅक्ट whenever we tell them that I am a student of philosophy किंवा I do anything about philosophy, there is a big question mark on their face ki oh my god, what is philosophy really? Because yeah, they have heard about it, पण ते काय आहे आणि त्याच्यामध्ये काय होतं, most of them they think that this is some kind of a armchair thinking. I'm not too sure where exactly you get those armchairs where this thinking happens, but yes, there is this idea of philosophy being armchair thinking किंवा very heavy duty काहीतरी काम आहे असं. तर I want you to talk about what is philosophy. हा खूप बेसिक प्रश्न आहे पण अतिशय महत्वाचा प्रश्न आहे. तर what is philosophy and what it deals with आणि why is it so important? तर if you could throw some light on it.
Yeah, okay. So I think you were absolutely right when you said that there are these very, for us at least, very strange kind of reactions when we tell people that we are doing philosophy or we study philosophy. Either people think that we are doing something very profound, or they feel that we are doing something which is quite useless and irrelevant. These are the two extremes I've always found since I chose philosophy as my special subject. These were the reactions and they still continue till today. आणि त्याचं कारण मला वाटतं हेच आहे की जरी हा शब्द आपण खूप वापरत असो, अगदी इन अ डे कॉन्व्हर्सेशन्स विथ इच अदर, इन मेनी अदर कॉन्टेक्स्ट, hardly knows what academic philosophy is. So first and foremost, I have to make a distinction between philosophy understood in a non-academic fashion and philosophy as an academic discipline proper. And I think what we are going to speak about today is academic philosophy, basically. Although, of course, I'm not saying that there is no connection between the non-academic and the academic senses of philosophy. But because most of the people are not aware of what academic philosophy is, we will concentrate on that. And I'll begin in a typically philosophical way, or using the philosophical methodology, by doing away with the misconceptions about philosophy. So in the non-academic circles, people generally think that philosophy is something related to spirituality, something to do with religion, or maybe both spirituality and religion. Uh, or then, like you said, it's just an armchair thinking, people who don't have better things to do in life, or people who can afford to do armchair thinking engage into it, and it has nothing to offer for the actual life situations. Now, I'm saying that all these are misconceptions about what academic philosophy is. Uh, Used in a non-academic way, we use the term philosophy many a times also to describe the worldview of a particular person. We talk about each other's philosophy.
Right.
The way we refer to our values, set of beliefs and values and our attitudes, we say that, yeah, that is my philosophy, and you may have your different philosophy, but no, I don't agree to that, etc. Now, that's just a kind of worldview. आपल्या जीवनाकडे बघण्याचा जो दृष्टिकोन असतो, त्याला खूपदा आपण असं नॉन अकॅडमिक सेन्समध्ये फिलॉसॉफी असं म्हणतो. माझं आयुष्याचं तत्वज्ञान वेगळं आहे किंवा त्या
Right.
माणसाचं आयुष्याचं तत्वज्ञान वेगळं आहे. हा नॉन अकॅडमिक सेन्स आला आणि त्या अर्थाने प्रत्येकाला आपापली फिलॉसॉफी असतेच. हे आपण डिनाय नको करूया. आणि हे
Right.
महत्वाचं याच्यासाठी आहे की दॅट ऍक्च्युअली ऑल्सो शोज दॅट ईच वन ऑफ अस इज केपेबल ऑफ डुईंग फिलॉसॉफी. Because many times when it comes to philosophy as an academic subject, I feel that some students feel that it's a very difficult subject and they would not be able to pursue it in a proper manner. And I want to tell them that you already have the ability that is needed for being a philosophy student or a philosophy teacher and a philosopher. So never feel that it is something that is reserved for only selected few. It's not. Each one of us has the ability to think, and that's what philosophy is based on. So let me now come to academic philosophy proper. And as we keep on saying philosophy, there are one or two very typical definitions of philosophy. There are, for example, philosophy is a kind of wonder. And there is a lot of truth in that because philosophy begins with a sense of curiosity. Curiosity about the world, curiosity about your own nature, your relation with different existing things around you, and so many more things. And we will eventually keep on speaking about them. But it's basically out of curiosity that man in ancient times pursued certain questions that came to his mind, and that's how philosophy was developed. So the next definition that I'm going to refer to is philosophy is the mother of all sciences. Again, a very popular understanding of philosophy. But of course, we have to take it with a pinch of salt. But then the truth of the matter is probably philosophy is the first rational inquiry, an inquiry based on reasons to understand the whole world, including ourselves. See, we have so many kinds of attempts that we find are present in every culture, right from mythology, religion, philosophy, science, arts. All of these are attempts that human beings have made since ancient times to make sense of the world around us, and then try to say something about it, to understand it, to interpret it. But in each of these areas that I talk about just now, each one of them has its own peculiarity. And the peculiarity of philosophy is that rather than basing itself on imagination, for example, which is a basic point of mythology. ज्यांना पुराकथा म्हणतो त्यात कल्पनाशक्तीचा असा मुक्त वावर असतो. आणि जगात काय घडतंय अवतीभोवती हे याचं स्पष्टीकरण या कल्पनाशक्तीच्या आधारे दिलं जातं. If you come to religion, there's a lot of insistence on faith. श्रद्धा हा धर्मासाठी खूप महत्वाची श्रद्धा ही गोष्ट असते. पण जेव्हा तुम्ही तत्वज्ञानाबद्दल बोलता, तत्वचिंतनाबद्दल बोलता, तेव्हा मी असं नाही म्हणणार की त्यात या दोन गोष्टींना स्थान नसतं. नक्कीच असतं, काही ना काही प्रमाणात. पण सगळ्यात महत्वाचं कशाला असतं, तर ते बुद्धीच्या आधाराने उत्तर शोधण्याला आणि काही पूर्वी अतिशय योग्य आणि रिलेव्हंट प्रश्न विचारण्याला. I think this is one of the very central characteristic of philosophy, that it asks you to ask questions, right kind of questions. Now, what do I mean by right kind of questions? The questions, when they are raised in a right manner, they are half answered, as it is many a time said. So, if you ask the right question, you are laid on the path of knowledge. So आता हेही खरं आहे की science is also rational inquiry, nobody can deny that. And the difference between philosophy and science is that whereas science uses empirical methods like observation and experimentation, philosophy does not engage into those methods. It uses only what are typically called the philosophical methods of conceptual analysis, inquiry, logical argumentation, and so on and so forth. So this is what academic philosophy is. And I would say that to put it rather succinctly, there are four basic relations that philosophy studies. One is the relation between man and nature. How are we related to the entire nature around us? The second is the relation that we have with the society, the other people around us. The third is the relation that we have with our own selves. That is so important, although we don't understand, because whenever you talk about relation, there are at least two people, and here is one person being related to himself or herself, but that's extremely important. And lastly, there is at least an exploration of the relation between us and the supernatural. If there is any supernatural power, for the believers, it's extremely important to know what is the relation between uh, ourselves and the supernatural. So this is very broadly speaking the area, the domain which philosophy tries to explore.
एक्सलंट, वाव. आणि आपल्या लिसनर्स मध्ये काही जण आहेत, त्यांचे मेसेजेस मी थोडेसे आता वाचून दाखवते.
Okay.
We have with us Skandapriya. I think she is your student.
Yes.
And she says, so good to see you, Dipti ma'am, and thank you, Aipar. And there is Mayura. She says, superb, love to see you here.
Okay.
So yes, thank you guys. Thank you for being with us. या आणि थँक्यू मॅडम, तुम्ही जे आता स्पष्टीकरण सांगितलं त्याच्याबद्दल. आणि सिन्स वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट क्युरिओसिटी आणि एन्शंट टाइम्स पासून चालत आलेली ही क्युरिओसिटी आणि माणसाचा हा क्वेस्ट, हे सगळं बघितल्यानंतर असं लक्षात येतं की दिस इज अ व्हेरी लॉंग ट्रेडिशन, राईट? फिलॉसॉफी इज अ व्हेरी व्हेरी perhaps the most ancient, longest ever traditions असं आपण म्हणू शकतो इन द फील्ड ऑफ नॉलेज असं. आणि त्या बाबतीमध्ये तुम्ही त्याचा एक चक्क आढावा सुद्धा घेतलाय तुमच्या पुस्तकामध्ये, युरोपीय तत्वज्ञानाच्या पाऊलखुणा याच्यामध्ये. जवळपास 2,000 वर्षांचा इतिहास तुम्ही त्याच्यामध्ये कव्हर केला आहे. तर ही अशी एक कंटिन्युअस ट्रेडिशन आहे असं त्याच्यामधून दिसतं आपल्याला. तर व्हॉट वुड यू से अबाउट इट, की त्याच्यामध्ये असं होत नाही की एकदा एक काम करून संपलं. आता फॉर एक्झाम्पल काय द लॉज ऑफ मोशन, दे आर नोन टू अस. आता तिथे ते थांबलं असं आपण म्हणू शकतो की आता ऍटलिस्ट या काही बाबतीमध्ये आपल्याला काही एक माहिती निश्चितपणे आहे असं. तर डज दिस हॅपन इन द फील्ड ऑफ फिलॉसॉफी? आणि मग ही लॉंग ट्रेडिशन, ही कन्सिस्टन्सी त्याच्यामध्ये कशी येते, आहे का? याबद्दल तुम्ही थोडंसं काही सांगा.
I think I'll begin by making a slightly debatable kind of statement, maybe controversial also for some of us, that there is not just philosophy, philosophies. आणि इथे मला हे सांगायला आवडेल की philosophers themselves have a lot of disagreements about what the nature of philosophy is. Now, this rarely happens in any other discipline. So that itself shows that when you talk about philosophy, and if it's the most ancient discipline, as two of us are trying to say and impress on the mind of the listeners, where has it reached today? And what is that great knowledge that we have discovered and that we have to offer to mankind, etc., etc.? I think I'll answer it the way in which Bertrand Russell, the famous British philosopher in the last century, answered it. That no, if you ask a scientist or a person belonging to any discipline, what are the findings, what are the established theories in your discipline, they'll be immediately able to tell you. But if you ask a philosopher, and if he really knows this subject well, then he would fumble. He or she would say that, okay, let me think, not really, etc., etc. That is because, as Russell noted, once your quest gets a definite shape, arrives at some definite answers, that field itself establishes itself as a different academic discipline. This has happened throughout the history, especially in the Western philosophy. And I'll here basically talk about the history of Western philosophy. We see that lot of questions, lot of problems that were raised by philosophy initially were the ones that were pursued by the scientists, and the scientists came up with answers that were acceptable, uh, sort of unanimously accepted answers which science arrived at, and then it became a separated part from philosophy. So, still the philosophizing as an activity continues even today, or philosophy as a discipline continues even today. Or has it really, again, philosophers themselves have time and again declared that philosophy is dead, it's gone, it's a thing of past. But like I always say, that that itself is a philosophical statement. So in making that statement and debating over that statement itself is an attempt to philosophize. So what keeps this tradition living? I think that's a very important question. And I think that at any point of time, the development or the progress of thought has reached, maybe right now we can say we are at the pinnacle of whatever we have known today compared to our ancestors, etc. But we still know that there's a lot to be known yet. There is a lot that we still don't understand. Yes, we have progressed, there's no doubt about that. But have we progressed in every possible way? Have we answered all our questions? Or have we answered a part of those questions, and that too to a limited extent? So, philosophy always tries to look at all those answers, understand them, and still think of what is still left unanswered. It tries to explore that domain, going beyond what has already been answered by sciences and other such disciplines. If you allow, Mrunal, then maybe I can, here itself, I can tell what are the basic three questions that philosophy, since ancient times, has dealt with. So I think the listeners will have some idea about what kind of questions are we really talking about.
Yes.
So we traditionally talk about philosophy as asking three very fundamental and very general questions that are related to
Madam, we can't hear you. Looks like we have lost connectivity here. Can you hear us?
Brunal.
Yes, now it is audible. Yes.
All right, all right. So I
Could
was
you please
saying
repeat
that
the last statement you made?
I said that we always raise very general kind of problems, and we do not speak about particular things or particular events as such, as
Yes.
philosophy students or teachers. Okay, that's what I said. Now, these questions are traditionally divided into three. The first question is about what is real, or what is it that exists? What is there in the universe? First of all, what all kinds of things are there in the universe? What is existence for that matter? I remember Heidegger many a times, just to give you a test of the level of generality that philosophers can reach. Instead of asking about particular beings or things that exist, philosophically speaking, why is there anything rather than nothing?
Hmm.
Why is anything rather than nothing? So, what is existence and why do things exist? Yeah. So, there are questions related to existence and reality. Then there are very important questions related to how do we know the reality?
Hmm.
Yes, we do know reality. In all our practical dealings with reality, there is knowledge presupposed, but especially when we talk about theoretical sciences, we think about knowledge of disciplines of various kind. We use the term knowledge in a very deeper sense of the term. And then the question that is philosophically important is what is knowledge? How do we have knowledge? Or there can even be the skeptics who would say that, is really knowledge possible? Can you really know the things? No? So that again is an important area. And lastly, I think something that all of us can relate to very well, whether you have known philosophy or not, is what is good life? How should we live our life? What life is good? What is good for us? What is moral? What is immoral? What is ethical? What is unethical? So, from these three kinds of questions related to being, knowing, and doing, there are three basic disciplines of philosophy that emerge, namely metaphysics, epistemology, and ethics. So these three branches, the traditional branches of philosophy, I would say, still continue to exist in this very many years, thousands of years, as we know, because there are questions in all these three domains which are still unanswered. So doing philosophy, I would say, basically consists of raising right kind of questions.
Yes, I think you are emphasizing this point that philosophy is an art of asking right kind of questions. And I think that is the foundation of entire philosophical journey or quest. तर त्याच्यामुळे मला असं वाटतंय की let's talk more about what is the right kind of a question, आणि how do we approach it, how do we try and find answers to it if there are any answers available. आणि especially आताच्या काळामध्ये मला असं वाटतं की this point becomes very very relevant when we are bombarded with all sorts of information about everything. तर मग it becomes a very difficult thing to find out what is real. The very first question that you mentioned, which forms one branch of philosophy. त्याच्यामधलं खरं काय आहे ते शोधून काढणं हे खूप होतं. हाऊ डू वी नो इट, द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन कम्स इज हाऊ डू वी नो इट. सो इन प्रेझेंट टाइम्स अँड देन व्हॉट वी डू. तर मला असं दिसतंय की आता ज्या एका अनसर्टन्टीच्या काळामधून आपण जातो आहोत त्याच्यामध्ये तर या 3 प्रश्नांची आपल्याला खूप चांगली जवळून ओळख करून घ्यायला पाहिजे की ते नेमके काय कशा पद्धतीने प्रश्न आधी आपण विचारायला शिकलं पाहिजे. आणि आपण जेव्हा असं म्हणतो की फिलॉसॉफी इज अ डिसिप्लिन, एवढी वर्षानुवर्ष स्टुडंट्स सुद्धा तुमच्याकडे येत आहेत आता डिपार्टमेंटमध्ये. आणि मला मी थोडीसं मध्ये एक ब्रेक घेऊन मी अजून काही मेसेजेस पण वाचून दाखवणार आहे. वी हॅव आलोक टंडन विथ अस अँड ही सेज ग्रेट टू सी यू आफ्टर अ व्हेरी लॉंग ब्रेक. And Tanuja is with us, and hello Tanuja, and she says great, both of you. And Mohinish says great to see you ma'am. And we have Rajesh Wagle and he says nice to see this session. So yes, thank you all of you, thank you for being with us. And if you have your own questions, we would really like to answer them. तर त्याच्यामुळे ते पण काही असतील तर ते जरूर इथे पोस्ट करा. तर आपण ह्याबद्दल बोलत होतो की आताच्या या काळामध्ये अनसर्टन टाइम्स मध्ये आपण या 3 गोष्टींची कशा पद्धतीने जास्त चांगली मदत घेऊ शकतो, या 3 डिसिप्लिन्सची वेगवेगळ्या 3 ब्रांचेसची, की ज्याच्यामुळे आपल्याला या काळामधून जाणं थोडंसं सोपं होऊ शकतं. ह्याच्यासाठी फिलॉसॉफीचा काही उपयोग होऊ शकतो का, याबद्दल तुम्ही थोडंसं काही सांगा.
करेक्ट. मी असं म्हणणार की आस्किंग राईट ऑफ काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चन्स ह्याच्या आधीही ह्याची आवश्यकता आहे की वी शुड अलाउ पीपल टू आस्क क्वेश्चन्स. That's the very first thing that we have to do. We ourselves raise questions and we must allow other people to raise questions in academic as well as non-academic courses. Because what happens many a times is, आता तू म्हणलीस तसं की in this era, it's not just an era of uncertainty, it's also what people in a jargon called the post-truth era, where truth itself has become a thing of past. That's what is suggested. And mug, as common man, we get totally baffled. How can truth become something that belongs to a past era? सत्योत्तर म्हणजे नक्की काय? ह्याच्यासाठी आपल्याला पहिल्यांदा जे जे काय आपल्यापर्यंत पोचतं वेगवेगळ्या माध्यमांमधून, द वे द मीडिया इज रुलिंग अवर लाईफ टुडे, द बंबार्डमेंट ऑफ इन्फॉर्मेशन, अँड अनफॉर्च्युनेटली नॉट जस्ट इन्फॉर्मेशन but opinionated information, a lot of opinions and biases, ideological biases and all sorts of things. We are flooded with that on all media. And if we don't remember the philosophical questions that I raised a little while ago, then there's every possibility that we'll be misled in believing what comes our way. आणि हे फिलॉसॉफीचं सगळ्यात महत्वाचं योगदान आहे की जे समोर येते तुमच्या त्याच्यावर आंधळेपणाने विश्वास न ठेवता, ट्राय टू एक्झामिन इट, स्क्रुटिनाइज इट, सी फ्रॉम वेअर इट कम्स, व्हॉट आर इट्स इम्प्लिकेशन्स, व्हॉट आर इट्स प्रीसपोजिशन्स, सी इफ दे आर acceptable to you, and then go ahead. Be open to a variety of opinions, differences of opinions. That's another very important aspect or value of philosophy, I believe, because it tells you that, like we said earlier, there are no definite answers in philosophy. There are no final ultimate positions in philosophy. So that in fact tells us that there is a possibility that my position is limited. It has got some flaws, and I should be open to what others have to say about my position. तर एकतर म्हणजे हे प्रश्न 3 ब्रांचेसना अगदी सिस्टमॅटिकली रिलेट करायला आपल्याला अवघड जातील, बट टू गिव्ह यू अ सॉर्ट ऑफ आयडिया. See, when we talk about what is truth, for example, it is normally related to what exists or what we call reality, right? So, what is it that we call real? आपल्यापैकी प्रत्येक जण कधी ना कधी ह्या प्रश्नाला धक्का म्हणून आलेलाच असतो. आपले स्वतःचे आयुष्यातले अनुभव असे असतात, की खूप वेळा असं होतं, की "अरे, हे खरंच होतंय का? इज दिस रिअल?" किंवा अ, आपल्याला असे फसवले जाण्याचे, म्हणजे फसवलं म्हणजे फार अगदी मॉरल अर्थाने फसवलं नाही म्हणत आहे मी, पण मिसलीड होण्याचे अनुभव असतात. आणि असं लक्षात येतं, की आपल्याला जे दिसतं, जे ऐकू येतं, ते सगळं काही खरोखर वास्तवात अस्तित्वात नसतं. ऑल दॅट वी गेट टू हिअर, ऑल दॅट वी गेट टू सी इज नॉट रिअल. अँड the best way to understand this is the proverbs that you have in every language. So यासारख्या म्हणी मराठीत दिसतं तसं नसतं, किंवा इंग्लिशमध्ये आपण म्हणतो की ऑल दॅट ग्लिटर्स इज नॉट गोल्ड. आय फील दॅट दिस इज part of the commonsensical wisdom that all cultures have, that there is always a difference between reality and appearance. So whatever appears may not be real. Now, this is something everybody knows. Even an illiterate person knows this. The only thing is, while growing up, maybe we forget this very simple and basic truth that all of us have understood. And under the influence of all this media and other people, we just start believing in the appearances. So if you have that metaphysical question at the back of your mind, you will say, no, no, wait. Let me find out whether this is an appearance or is it really so? And when you want to know, now, as I said, that the questions that we raise in philosophy are of very general and fundamental nature. So in philosophy, we don't say whether this particular event really happened or not historically. That's not what we are concerned with. But we would probably say, what is it that we call real? What are the criteria of saying that something is real and something is illusory, something is merely an appearance, or something is a dream? I believe that there are youngsters listening to this, so let me just remind them if they've seen the movie Matrix, where there's a great, when I saw the movie, I said, this is nothing but the problem of perception as philosophy handles it. There, with today's technology, we make a distinction between the actual and the virtual. How do we really make that distinction? Where does the virtual end and actual begin? And what is actual? So these are philosophical questions. So what you have to do is you have to go deep under your experiences. You can begin with your own experiences of the world, and rather than taking everything at its face value, start thinking about it, and then automatically questions will come to your mind. Thinking is not reminding yourself of what you have already learned. Thinking is not just imagining something that, oh, this should have been better or that should have been better. It's not that. You have to, like I said, you come up with any particular belief, try to see what does it assume. If this belief is true, then certain other things have to be true. What are its implications? This is where logic, another very important branch of philosophy, comes in. It lets you know.
I was about to mention it. Yes.
Yes. So the study of logic helps in all disciplines because it really makes your thinking very rigorous and very systematic. Yeah. And logic, as you know, is a sister branch of epistemology.
Correct.
So whenever you're actually dealing with the question of what is real, you're thrown back to the question, how do you know that's real and that is unreal? So you're thrown back to the questions of epistemology. काय खरं आहे, काय खरं नाहीये, काय वास्तवात अस्तित्वात आहे आणि काय नाहीये, ह्याच्याबद्दल तुम्ही काही म्हणलात की पुढचा प्रश्न असा असतो की हे तुम्हाला कसं कळलं, आणि हे कळलं ह्याचं मला ज्ञान आहे असं आपण जेव्हा म्हणतो, तेव्हा ते ज्ञान आहे म्हणजे नक्की काय आहे. म्हणजे मला आज उदाहरणार्थ आपण ही मीटिंग ऑनलाईन घेतोय, तर ह्या मीटिंग बद्दल ही कशी ऑपरेट होते, याच्या मागचं तंत्रज्ञान काय आहे, ह्याचं मला ज्ञान आहे का खरोखर? नाहीये. मला माहिती आहे आणि त्याची थोडीशी स्किल्स मी प्रॉबेबली अडॉप्ट केली आहे त्याच्या मीटिंगसाठी. त्याला असं नाही मला म्हणतात की आय नो Zoom टेक्नॉलॉजी, आय नो द टेक्नॉलॉजी विथ विच Zoom वर्क्स, आय नो द सायन्स बिहाइंड इट. आय डोंट नो इट. पण वास्तवात मात्र आपण असे खूप मोठे नॉलेज क्लेम्स करत असतो. तेवढंच नाही, दुसरी आपल्या अवतीभोवतीचे असे नॉलेज क्लेम्स करत असतात आणि आपण ते ॲक्सेप्ट करत असतो व्हेरी अनक्रिटिकली. What we have to understand in today's world of information technology and all, that information, mere information, is never given the status of knowledge. Knowledge is where you can, arrange the bits and bits of the information in a very organized manner. You can make systematic connections. आणि मग ते तुम्ही जेव्हा आत्मसात करता, ते केवळ एक माहिती नाहीये साठवलेली, ती माहिती तुम्ही अशा पद्धतीने आत्मसात केली की त्याच्यातली सगळे कनेक्शन्स तुम्हाला कळली आहेत. त्याचं तुम्ही कारणं देऊ शकता, त्याचं तुम्ही जस्टिफिकेशन देऊ शकता, समर्थन करू शकता, तेव्हा तुम्हाला ज्ञान झालंय असं म्हणता येतं. अँड लास्ट बट मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टंट प्रोबेबली इज, ह्या सगळ्याचा आपल्या जगण्यावर कसा परिणाम होतो. आपण जेव्हा कृती करतो, आपण कुठलीही एखादी कृती करायचा निर्णय जेव्हा घेतो, तेव्हा आपल्याकडे खूप ऑप्शन्स अवेलेबल असतात, खूप पर्याय उपलब्ध असतात. आणि मग सत्य काय आहे, वास्तव काय आहे, आणि आपल्याला त्याचं खरोखरच ज्ञान आहे का, ह्या 2 गोष्टींचं भान जर आपण सतत ठेवलं आणि आपल्या कुठल्या कृती चांगल्या होऊ शकतात, कुठल्या कृतींना चांगलं म्हणता येईल, नैतिक म्हणता येईल आणि ते का म्हणता येईल, याच्याबद्दल आपण सजग असलो, तर आपलं जगणं सुद्धा खूप सजग होतं. आणि हे तर प्रश्न म्हणजे आता आपण म्हणतोय तसं या अनसर्टॅनिटीचा माहोल सगळा जो कोरोनामुळे आपल्या आसपास आहे, आणि याच्याबद्दल विचार करताना मला खरंच असं वाटलं की कोरोनाने पुन्हा एकदा मेटाफिजिकल, एपिस्टेमॉलॉजिकल, एथिकल असे प्रश्न आपल्या पुढे बऱ्याच मोठ्या प्रमाणात निर्माण केलेले आहेत. तर ह्या सगळ्यासाठी ही फिलॉसॉफिकल क्वेस्ट ही जिवंत राहणं आणि त्याला विशिष्ट पद्धतीने करणं खूप महत्वाचं आहे. आणि if there's time, can I speak a bit about how to find out the answers of these questions that we raise?
Yes, please. Yes, we would
Yeah.
like to.
Yeah. So confining myself to philosophy, I would say की प्रश्न आपल्याला सगळ्यांना पडतात आणि ते पडत राहावे, ते आपण जिवंत ठेवावं स्वतःमध्ये. आणि हे प्रश्न आपल्याला आज पडतायत ते कदाचित एका विशिष्ट संदर्भात, विशिष्ट सांस्कृतिक चौकटीत, ऐतिहासिक चौकटीत पडतात. पण थोडं आपण इतिहास पाहिला तर आपल्या असं लक्षात येतं की ह्या प्रकारचे, हेच असं नाही, पण या प्रकारचे प्रश्न माणसाला गेली हजारो वर्ष पडत आलेत. असं जर असेल तर आपल्याला हे उत्तर शोधण्यासाठी अगदी नव्याने सुरुवात करायची गरज नाहीये. आपल्या आधी या प्रश्नांची जी उत्तरं दिली गेली आहेत, त्याचा जर अभ्यास आपल्याला असेल, ती उत्तर आपल्याला माहिती असतील, त्या उत्तरात कमी जास्त काय आहे, व्हॉट आर द लॅक्युनाज, व्हॉट आर द स्ट्रॉंग पॉइंट्स ऑफ द आन्सर्स दॅट हॅव ऑलरेडी बीन ऑफर्ड इन द ट्रेडिशन. If we begin our search for answers by studying the history of ideas, I would say, history not just of philosophy, but history of ideas generally, that itself gives us a direction to look for answers and then to implement those answers in our actual living. Yeah,
Okay.
that's all for right now.
राईट. आय थिंक आता तुम्ही जे सगळं सांगितलं त्याच्यावरून वाय फिलॉसॉफी इज अ लिव्हिंग ट्रेडिशन हे त्याच्यामुळे आता पुन्हा एकदा नव्याने स्पष्ट झालं. आणि त्याच्याचमुळे कदाचित असेल की अजूनही फिलॉसॉफी सारखा विषय शिकायला आपल्याकडे तरुण मुलं येतात. अगदी 11वी 12वी पासूनची सुद्धा मुलं कॉलेजेसमध्ये जातात आणि फिलॉसॉफी त्यांना शिकायचं असतं. आताच्या काळामध्ये ही फार मार्वलस गोष्ट वाटते की असं 17-18 वर्षाच्या मुलांना फिलॉसॉफी शिकायचंय आणि त्याच्याही पुढे जाऊन त्यांना त्याच्यामध्ये स्पेशलायझेशन करायचं असतं. आणि ह्याच्यासाठी खरं सांगायचं तर खूप त्यांचं विद्यार्थ्यांचं पण त्याच्यामध्ये एक मनाची तयारी लागते की बऱ्याच पद्धतीचे प्रश्न विचारले जातात की करिअरचे काय ऑप्शन्स आहेत किंवा याच्यामधून काय मिळणार आहे वगैरे वगैरे. माझ्यासमोर आता जे प्रश्न आहेत त्याच्यामध्ये एकांनी असं विचारलंय असं मला दिसतंय की करिअर आणि अर्निंग याच्याशी सगळं एज्युकेशन आता लिंक्ड आहे असं आता आपल्याला दिसतं. तर याच्यामध्ये फिलॉसॉफी जेव्हा ही तरुण मुलं शिकतात तेव्हा व्हॉट इज इट दॅट दे आर सीकिंग आणि व्हॉट इज इट दॅट दे गेन आउट ऑफ इट. आणि तुमचा जो आता एवढ्या वर्षांचा एक्सपिरियन्स आहे त्याच्यामधला स्टुडंट्स बरोबरचा, तर त्याच्यामध्ये तुम्हाला काय दिसतं ही यंगस्टर्स व्हॉट आर दे लुकिंग फॉर आणि डू दे गेट व्हॉट दे आर लुकिंग फॉर, याबद्दल तुम्हाला तुमचं काय आहे परसेप्शन?
So there are a lot of students about philosophy. आणि याच्यात थोडं असंही होतं की बहुसंख्य पालकांनाच फिलॉसॉफी म्हणजे काय हे माहिती नसतं. they have never even heard that there is an academic discipline of this name. आणि विशेषतः 11वी-12वीत मी तर असं म्हणेन फर्स्ट इयर सिनियर कॉलेजमध्ये सुद्धा मुलांचे चॉईसेस आजही खूप वेळा पालकांकडून आणि किंवा पालकांच्या प्रभावाखाली ठरवले जातात. आणि पालकांनाच जर माहित नसलं की फिलॉसॉफी काय आहे, तर मुलांचा अर्थातच त्याच्याकडे बघण्याचा दृष्टिकोन निगेटिव्ह असू शकतो. पण माझा अनुभव असा सांगतो की जर त्या मुलांनी तरी कुठल्याही कारणाने, आणि खरोखरच आपण म्हणतो ना, जत्रेत हौशे नवशे गवशे सगळे येतात. सो आय हॅव अन असॉर्टेड bunch of students who have offered philosophy for very very different reasons. But once they are introduced to this subject in a proper manner, I've always found that they develop a lot of interest in this particular subject. Now, all of them need not offer philosophy as their major subject when they go for graduation. But even if they offer it as a minor subject, my experience has been it really helps them understand whatever subject they choose for their specialization in a much better and in a much deeper manner. Because the discipline that philosophy puts into them as far as thinking, reading, analyzing is concerned, or developing a very wider, broad perspective, always trying to relate something to the bigger picture, that is something that they carry forward and they just love it. Like I said, the very freedom that is given in the class to raise questions. And when some of the students, in every batch I have this experience that students are so hesitant because probably they have been told that no, you're not supposed to ask questions, you just have to listen to the teacher and just imbibe what is being said. And I keep telling them, no, 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 let us have interactive classes and please ask questions and feel free. Then they begin by saying that, ma'am, maybe this is a ridiculous question. And every time I have to stop them and tell them that no, there's no question which is ridiculous, just go ahead and ask. Now they just love that freedom. And when you lead their questions in a proper manner, slowly they understand how to ask the right kind of questions. Maybe in the beginning the questions are not very pertinent, but the very fact that you train them in a particular way and you examine their own answers, they love that very much. And what philosophy teaches them is analyzing any concept till they understand it very clearly, the relation that a particular concept has with other interrelated concepts, any theory that they study in their own fields of specialization, they are able to analyze, examine, and evaluate it because they have this philosophical base. And I always tell them that once you are comfortable with this philosophical kind of thinking and reading, it will always be very easy for you to relate it to other subjects because the base is provided over here. And in whichever field they go, I have students giving me feedback, somebody who did philosophy, specialization in philosophy, and later on went into many other things and then became a master in international relations, a diplomat. He says, ma'am, it was only because I had studied philosophy as a special subject, I could read the material that I was asked to like like a novel, like a fiction, whereas other people had to struggle with it a lot. That kind of intellectual ability is something that the subject can impart to you.
Right. मला असं वाटतं की here I can contribute a bit because I also did my masters in philosophy, and after that I took training in ecology, and then I also did masters in a few other subjects. आणि माझाही अनुभव अगदी असाच आहे की त्या नव्या सब्जेक्टशी जुळवून घेताना सुद्धा ही जी फिलॉसॉफी मधली रिगर आहे, जे तुम्ही आता सांगत होतात ते की आस्किंग राईट काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चन्स, तुमचे ऍक्सियम्स नेहमी तपासून बघणं आणि त्याच्यावरती एक व्हॅलिड आर्ग्युमेंट बिल्ड करणं, ही जी फिलॉसॉफी आणि लॉजिकमुळे लागलेली जी शिस्त असते, तर त्याचा उपयोग हा सगळ्या फील्ड्स मध्ये होतो असा या बाबतीमध्ये मला सुद्धा पर्सनल अनुभव म्हणून सुद्धा हे अगदीच नक्की सांगता येऊ शकेल. आणि मला असं आता दिसतंय की वी हॅव किशोरी विथ अस, आणि they are working for philosophy for children.
I was to mention it, yeah.
Yes. And they also work for the same cause, to encourage critical thinking by asking questions and encourage children to do the same, emphasizing more on practical aspect of philosophy. Happy to see you, Kishori, and hope we can be connected otherwise also. आणि कारण या पद्धतीचे एफर्ट्स आपण जेवढे करू तेवढे कमी आहेत आताच्या काळामध्ये. त्याच्यामुळे इट इज व्हेरी मच इम्पॉर्टंट फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस टू कीप टुगेदर आणि हे काम पुढे नेण्याच्यासाठी आपण नक्कीच प्रयत्न करत राहू शकतो. तर आता हे इथपर्यंत आल्यानंतर आता असं आपण दिसतंय की आपण इथपर्यंत आलो की यामुळे फिलॉसॉफी मगाशी आपण हे चॅट सुरू व्हायच्या आधी जसं म्हणत होतो तसं की मला फिलॉसॉफीच्या बाबतीमध्ये एक जी गंमत वाटते ती की ते एक नाऊन पण आहे आणि त्यामुळे ते एक वर्ब पण बनतं. की एक ते विषयाचं नाव म्हणून पण आहे आणि फिलॉसॉफाईज असं म्हणताना आपण त्याचा एखाद्या वर्ब प्रमाणे पण उपयोग करू शकतो आणि त्याच्यामुळे फिलॉसॉफीला वेगवेगळ्या फील्ड्सना ऍक्सेस आहे. सायन्सला आहे, आर्ट्सला तर आहेच आहे, सोशल सायन्सेसना आहे आणि त्याच्यामुळे हे सतत मधून मधून जाणवत राहतात की ही कनेक्शन्स किती महत्वाची आहेत ती. तर हे जे फिलॉसॉफीचा उरलेल्या डिसिप्लिन्स बरोबर आणि ते अगदी मग इकॉनॉमिक्स पासून ते बिझनेस मॅनेजमेंट पर्यंत वगैरे सुद्धा आपण असं बघतो की फिलॉसॉफीची एक गरज निर्माण होते तिथे. तर हे जे कनेक्शन आहे फिलॉसॉफीचं उरलेल्या डिसिप्लिन्स बरोबर, तर त्याबद्दल तुम्ही काय सांगू शकाल?
आपल्याला असं दिसतं आणि हे मला वाटतं थोडं मला रिस्ट्रिक्ट करायला पाहिजे, की फिलॉसॉफीचं पाश्चात्य जगात ज्या पद्धतीने विकास झालेला दिसतो आपल्याला आणि यू नो की दॅट इज माय एरिया ॲक्चुअली. सो तिथे आपल्याला असं दिसतं हिस्टॉरिकली स्पीकिंग, की philosophy, especially after the Renaissance period, has always been connected with what other disciplines have been doing and what are the findings that they come up with. आणि त्याचा सतत एक परामर्श घेत राहिल्यामुळे फिलॉसॉफीमध्येही अनेक प्रकारचे बदल होत गेले आणि ट्रॅडिशनली मी मगाशी म्हणलं तसं जरी मेटाफिजिक्स, एपिस्टेमॉलॉजी, एथिक्स, लॉजिक अँड वन ब्रांच दॅट आय डिड नॉट मेन्शन was aesthetics, Saundarya Shastra, or philosophy of art as it is called now. ह्या ट्रॅडिशनल ब्रांचेसच्या पलीकडे जाऊन philosophy branched out into so many other sub branches. Like you said just now, we have philosophy of science, where we again have subdisciplines like philosophy of natural science, philosophy of social science. Then you have philosophy of art, you have philosophy of language, you have philosophy of mathematics, you have philosophy of history. So many disciplines. Why? Because again, within any discipline, when you go to the deepest level of problems and concepts, you are actually philosophizing, even though you are not into academic philosophy as such. And this has been, recognized by many scientists also, that when they push their inquiries into those kinds of fundamental questions, they're actually in the philosophizing mode of thinking, because there are no experimentations available there. It's not possible to build experiments because you are trying to think about something which is beyond experience, at least for the time being. So philosophy as a discipline, I would say, has this wonderful ability of connecting to everything that is emerging, that is being constructed or created as knowledge, and raise very pertinent questions about the concepts that are used in these fields and the methodologies. So philosophy of science, for example, will speak a lot about what kind of methods does science adopt, and how far can you really say that they are really able to give you objective knowledge. And then you would probably raise a question like, is it really objective? Is it acceptable universally? And then you realize that no, what science has to say is not universally accepted, or it's not accepted for all times and at all places, etc., etc. It's not a certain kind of knowledge which the traditional philosophers and probably scientists also believe that it would be atemporal, beyond time. But now we know better, because truths in science are not like truths in mathematics or logic, what we call the pure sciences. They are certain, necessary, or temporal, but the truths that sciences have to offer to us, they are time bound. There's every possibility that some of them will have to be modified. And philosophy studies this methodology of science. Philosophy also studies, very importantly, the ethical questions that the development of science and technology, the problems that the development of science and technology has given rise to. Now, here is a domain of values and ethics that no other discipline addresses in a thematic fashion. I think this is one of the strongest reasons why everyone must know what philosophy is and what ethics is, because philosophy does not, even ethics does not preach, ethics does not give you any sermon, ethics does not give you any practical guidance. Ethics tells you how to engage into reasoning about values, what are the proper ways of making decisions and then acting in particular way. So you take any discipline with, because it is related to human beings and human beings relation with nature, each other and oneself, etc. Philosophy has some say or other in every particular discipline. And definitely philosophy contributes a lot in all these disciplines. This is what you will find again and again in the history of philosophy and history of all disciplines. Unfortunately, apart from philosophy itself as an academic discipline, the histories of those disciplines, those branches of knowledge are not taught in those subjects. You know, in science you don't teach history of science. How do scientists arrive at a particular theory? That's such an interesting intellectual journey, you know. And that is okay. I'm not here to comment anything about that, but I want to again take this opportunity to point out one more specificity of philosophy, which is philosophy is um, not just having this critical attitude about everything. It also is very, very self critical. It is a self reflexive discipline, or to put it with some sort of jargon, it is a meta discipline for itself. You know, philosophy, when we have these branches, philosophy of science, philosophy of language, etc., we say philosophy is a meta discipline which goes beyond these disciplines and the disciplinary boundaries. But the fact remains that philosophy as a discipline, a very reflective discipline, always looks back at itself, passes judgment on itself and its methodologies. And I'm just fascinated by that. आपली जी चिकित्सक दृष्टी आहे ती फक्त बाकीच्या जगाकडे आणि इतरांकडे आणि इतर ज्ञानक्षेत्रांकडे न वळवता फिलॉसॉफर्सनी पुन्हा पुन्हा स्वतःच्याच ज्ञानक्षेत्राची चिरफाड म्हणता येईल अशी चिकित्सा केलेली आहे. आणि हेही मला त्याचं एक अतिशय मोठं वैशिष्ट्य वाटतं. It's a kind of intellectual tool that all disciplines can use.
राईट राईट. एक इंटरेस्टिंग प्रश्न आलाय आपल्याकडे की फिलॉसॉफीला, डज फिलॉसॉफी रिअली हॅज एनी फ्युचर? mankind is still struggling to have roti, kapda and makan असं. आणि मला असं वाटतंय की इफ द लिसनर इज लिसनिंग टू दिस कॉन्व्हर्सेशन फ्रॉम द बिगिनिंग, तुम्ही हे सांगायचा प्रयत्न केलात, म्हणजे त्याचं एक जिस्ट असं आपण म्हणू शकतो की दिस इज नॉट अन आयदर ऑर सिच्युएशन, that you go either for roti, kapda or makan, or you go for philosophy. In fact, they both complement one another.
Absolutely.
तर या प्रश्नाबद्दल तुम्हाला अजून काही सांगता येऊ शकेल का?
हा, पहिलं म्हणजे मी तू जे रिमार्क दिलास तिथपासून सुरुवात करीन की रोटी, कपडा आणि मकान हा आपल्या अतिशय बेसिक गरजा आहेत, हे कोणीच नाकारणार नाही. पण ह्याचा अर्थ असा नाही की याच्या पलीकडच्या आपल्या माणूस म्हणून काहीच बेसिक गरजा नाही. म्हणजे आम्ही जे टिपिकली फिलॉसॉफीत नेहमी सांगतो किंवा आपल्याला इतर सोशल सायन्सेसमध्येही आपण ऐकतो की मॅन इज अ रॅशनल बिईंग. तर विचार करणं, त्या विचारामधून जगाला समजून प्रयत्न करत राहणं, ही आपली एक माणूस म्हणून मूलभूत गरजच आहे. आणि त्यामुळे ह्या शारीरिक गरजा ज्या रोटी, कपडा, मकान सारख्या आहेत, तितक्याच त्या भागल्यानंतर सुद्धा आपल्या काही बेसिक गरजा शिल्लक राहतातच. आणि हे आयदर ऑर जसं नाहीये, मृणाल म्हणाली तसं, त्याचप्रमाणे तिथे काही अशी टेम्पोरल ऑर्डर आहे असं नाही. रोटी, कपडा और मकान ह्या गरजा भागल्याशिवाय, तुमच्या या मूलभूत गरजा भागल्याशिवाय तुम्ही तत्वचिंतन करू शकत नाही असं अजिबात नाहीये. ज्यांना ह्याचेही प्रॉब्लेम्स असतात तेही लोक खूप चांगलं तत्वचिंतन करू शकतात, कारण मी म्हणलं तसं ती क्षमता आपल्यामध्ये प्रत्येकामध्ये आहे. आणि आपल्या अनुभवाकडे एका वेगळ्या दृष्टीने पाहायची, त्याला एका अमूर्त पातळीवर नेऊन त्याचा विचार करायची क्षमता आपल्यात असेल, त्याच्यावर सखोल चिंतन करायची क्षमता आपल्यात असेल, तर तत्वचिंतन हे ह्या सगळ्या बरोबरीने मी असं म्हणेन की एक बेसिक नीड्स मध्येच जातं एका अर्थी. ही एक गोष्ट. दुसरी गोष्ट म्हणजे फिलॉसॉफी, आपण ॲज यू सेड अर्लियर, can philosophy be chosen as a career option? आणि असं आहे का की फिलॉसॉफी जे लोक शिकतात त्यांचा मेजर सब्जेक्ट म्हणून ते आयुष्यभर बेकार राहतात, त्यांना स्वतःचं दे कांट अर्न देअर ब्रेड अँड बटर? तर असं नाहीये. देर आर मे बी लिमिटेड ऑप्शन्स. आय वोंट गिव्ह यू अ व्हेरी फॉल्स रोजी पिक्चर. That would be very unphilosophical and ethical on my part. I won't do that. But I would also tell you what reality is like. See, first and foremost, as I always tell my students, Nobody says in any ad that all graduates are welcome except those who have specialized in philosophy. So anywhere, graduation is a basic condition. It's not that philosophy students are debarred from entering any field. They're not. In fact, if you search the internet a bit, you will find that in the Western countries, philosophy students are welcome in many fields of advanced learning as well as far as jobs are concerned. Uh, Thinking of India itself, let's talk about it. See, the basic career choice that you have is that of having an academic career. So you can go for teaching or you can go for research, advanced research, doctoral, postdoctoral, etc., etc. That's the first option that comes to your mind. But today I see, and not today actually, for last so many years, I have always had inquiries from students who are aspiring to be going into administrative services, IAS, etc., or MPSC, UPSC, and all those kinds of competitive exams. Philosophy is one of the electives that you can choose there. And we have noted examples of people who have been administrative officers working at government at very high level who were philosophy graduates. So philosophy is a very good option for those who want to go for administrative services, which is an in thing for the younger generation these days. Philosophy also equips you in a very wonderful manner if you want to pursue law after graduation or you want to do journalism. If you want to do MBA HR, for example, human resources. See, I always have a problem with human resources, so I inadvertently said human relations. So these are some of the areas you can always think of. I have many students who are artists basically and have graduated in philosophy, and they are doing wonderfully well in their own fields of art, like dance, for example. And so you can explore various fields having the philosophical base. So philosophy will also care for your roti, kapda or makan.
राईट. आणि आता हे जे शेवटचं तुम्ही म्हणालात आर्टिस्ट असं, तर मला असं वाटतं की इथे मला सांगायला पाहिजे की ही जी ऑर्गनायझेशन आहे आयपार, इंटरनॅशनल असोसिएशन फॉर परफॉर्मिंग आर्ट्स अँड रिसर्च असं आमच्या ऑर्गनायझेशनचं नाव आहे. आणि इथे बेसिकली आर्ट रिलेटेड गोष्टी चालतात. इथे थिएटर होतं, इथे डान्स होतं, इथे अनेक गोष्टी चालतात. आणि त्याचा एक भाग हा रिसर्च असा सुद्धा आहे की ज्याच्यामध्ये आपण या सगळ्याच्या बाबतीमध्ये परत एकदा फिलॉसॉफाईज करण्याचा थोडासा प्रयत्न करतो. आणि आयपारच्याच थ्रू आम्ही एक वेगळाच ड्राईव्ह मागच्या वर्षी सुरू केला ज्याचं नाव आहे कुल्फी. आय थिंक आय वुड लाईक टू टॉक अबाउट इट ॲज वी कम टुवर्ड्स द एंड ऑफ आवर डिस्कशन. की हे कुल्फी हे काय आहे, तर काय वाटतंय म्हणजे इफ देर आर एनी लिसनर्स, व्हॉट इज कुल्फी फॉर यू? तर आम्ही असं ठरवलं की आताच्या मुलांना सगळ्या गोष्टी कूल असलेल्या आवडतात आणि त्याच्यामुळे आम्ही ह्याचं पण नाव कूल फिलॉसॉफी किंवा कूल फिलॉसॉफर्स अशा पद्धतीने कुल्फी असं ठेवलं. आणि आम्ही मागच्या वर्षी पहिल्यांदा एक वर्कशॉप कंडक्ट केलं फॉर यंगस्टर्स, छोट्या मुलांच्यासाठी हे केलं. आणि वी वर मेस्मराइज टू सी व्हॉट काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चन्स दे आस्क, देअर कपॅसिटी टू फिलॉसॉफाइज थिंग्स. हे सगळं आम्हाला एक 2-3 दिवसांमध्ये सुद्धा त्याची एक झलक मिळाली आणि त्याच्यामुळे असं वाटलं की ह्याच्या बाबतीत अजून काम व्हायला पाहिजे. आणि त्याच्यामुळे आता हे जेव्हा आम्हाला असं कळलं इथे किशोरी इज विथ अस आणि शी इज ऑल्सो डुईंग द सेम काइंड ऑफ वर्क, तर दिस इज व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट. आणि त्याच्यानंतर हे वर्कशॉप झाल्यावरती आम्हाला खूप ग्रोनअप्सचे सुद्धा फोन आले की वी वुड लाईक टू हॅव वन सच वर्कशॉप फॉर अस ॲज वेल. आणि ते कधीतरी इव्हेंच्युअली सुरू नक्की होईल. आणि आता आमचा आयपारचाच एक इन्फॉर्मल रिसर्च ग्रुप आहे, त्याचं नाव अजून वेगळं आहे, स्पा असं आहे. आणि ते म्हणजे सायन्स, फिलॉसॉफी आणि आर्ट असं ह्याच्यातून आम्ही ते स्पा केलंय. तर हे कुल्फी आणि स्पा हे इव्हेंच्युअली आम्ही ओपन पण करू, ज्याच्यामध्ये आता जे ऐकणार आहेत आणि ज्यांना असं काहीतरी नव्याने परत करावं असं वाटेल तर इट इज ओपन फॉर देम, दे कॅन रजिस्टर फॉर अवर कोर्सेस. तर ही एक परत संधी आहे की फिलॉसॉफी ही एक लिव्हिंग ट्रेडिशन आहे, त्याचा एक भाग होण्यासाठीची. तर ती याचा आपण जरूर ती संधी घेऊ शकतो. आणि आता एक क्वेश्चन मला इथे आलाय, तुम्हाला इंटरेस्टिंग वाटतोय की आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजन्सच्या एरामध्ये फिलॉसॉफी हे अजूनच जास्ती इम्पॉर्टंट आणि रिलेव्हंट आहे असं दिसतंय. तर व्हॉट इज युअर टेक ऑन इट? What would you like?
Before I take up the question, Brunal, if you allow me, I would like to mention one more activity along with Philosophy for Children, P4C, which is a very established movement in US, and I'm glad that it's taking roots in India also. And Kulfi, IPAS venture. I would also like to mention one more such activity that is going on and that's becoming quite popular, which is called Chalo Think Kare. Chalo Think Kare.
Yes, yes. I
See,
think I mentioned it earlier. They are doing the same thing. Chalo think kare.
Think
Yes.
Kare, yes.
Yeah. Uh,
Some of my students have attended those sessions and they are training now other youngsters. So I think there is this moment which is gaining a momentum probably. Yeah. So that was just something that I wanted to add. Now coming back to artificial intelligence, I just came across a very interesting reference while reading about it. There is this person called Damon Horowitz who worked as an AI scientist. Yeah, he worked in the field of AI, and then I don't have the complete quote over here, but I'll tell you the gist. He said in AI he wanted to know the nature of thought, the structure of language, and the grounds of meaning. And then I realized that the answers or the pursuit of these questions uh, is actually can be properly done only in philosophy and not in AI. So he changed his field, changed as in he switched over for the time being, let's say, because he said philosophy makes you better thinkers, and nothing but philosophy makes you better thinkers. So the questions that AI is trying to understand or AI is trying to um, explore, if you have a training in philosophy, that surely is going to help you a lot. And of course I must say this also, that philosophy students and the people who are interested in philosophy also have this responsibility of keeping themselves updated about what is happening in these sciences like AI or robotics or all neurological sciences, right from neurobiology to neuropsychology and all that, because the questions that we have been asking, what is mind or is there mind at all, for example, or is it just a function of brain, etc., etc. If you really want to take these questions up seriously, then you can't afford to neglect what the latest sciences are saying about it in today's world. So there has to be an interchange, there has to be an interdisciplinary approach.
right. आणि आता एक शेवटचा प्रश्न घेऊयात आपण. Trivial one. Yeah, in your opinion, which philosopher stands out among the galaxy of philosophers and why? I'm sure it's very difficult for her to answer, but yes, ma'am, would you like to say?
Really very difficult one, because as you said, the galaxy of stalwarts, both the Indian and the Western traditions. And I'm mentioning these two. This also I would like to share with the listeners, that I'm mentioning the Indian and Western tradition because this is what I'm acquainted with. But there are philosophical traditions apart from these two, like the African tradition of African philosophy, the tradition of Chinese philosophy, so on and so forth. We are becoming aware of them now in last few decades or so. So it would be very arrogant or it would be very short-sighted to say to put the name of one philosopher as the star that stands out in the galaxy. After all, it's a galaxy, full of stars. So I not to pass any judgment, but yes, I'll answer in a very difficult, very different way. I'll tell you my two of my favorite figures in the history of Western philosophy. One is, I think all my students would guess, it's Socrates, with his dictum, life unexamined is not worth living. So we
Yes.
have to keep on examining, yes. And the second one, that although I have many other differences of opinion with him, the one I'm really impressed with and kind of influenced by is Immanuel Kant, the German philosopher, uh, who would ultimately say that all said and done, we are finite beings. We must keep on reasoning and, you know, um, philosophizing, but there's a limit to what we can know. And probably the world uh, is beyond our capacity to know as it is in itself. That's a bit of jargon, so I'm trying to avoid it. But yeah, so that makes me aware of my own limitations. I think there are always limitations that keeps us humble, and that builds an intellectual humility, that builds in some kind of tolerance and respect for others' positions. And I think that's a great quality
Hello, madam, can you hear us? We have lost you. Your connection is unstable, I think. I think we have to wait a couple of seconds. Let her come back. Ma'am, we lost you in between. Last 30 seconds or so. I think your connection is unstable.
Yeah, I think now it's okay.
Yes, now it is okay. So
Yeah.
you will have to repeat the last point.
Yeah, I just said that sometimes I have found that philosophy students have this impression that the kind of subject they're studying is so profound and it's on a pedestal sort of. So sometimes they have a tendency to look down upon other empirical inquiries, and I always warn them that that's not a right thing to do. You should not have even philosophical arrogance. Arrogance is bad. You can be assertive but not arrogant. And in fact, I think the message of philosophy is precisely this, that because there are no ultimate answers found, there are no final positions found, you have to be very polite. You have to respect the differences of opinion. You have to attend to those differences and keep on modifying your own position in the light of what you get to hear from or learn from others. So that intellectual humility, I feel, is very important.
Okay. So we have a few more people with us, Gauravi and Mukta Joshi, and all of them are saying that they really like this talk and this discussion, and it feels very good to see you and listen to you, ma'am. So, yeah, thank you very much, all of you, for being with us. And with the mention of Socrates and Kant, I think now I feel like uh, really discussing it with you, because I know how passionate you are about you too and about others as well. And with that famous quote, life unexamined, I really think that I feel at home now in this discussion as we come to the end of this discussion. So thank you very much once again, madam. It is time that आपल्याला लोकांचा आता निरोप घ्यायला पाहिजे.
So
आणि
before you do that, Aditi, Brunal, I must thank you and Aditi and the IPAR team for giving me this opportunity of interacting through a social media platform. Thank you so much.
थँक्यू व्हेरी मच. आणि आय एम शुअर आज ज्यांनी ज्यांनी हे ऐकलंय आणि त्यांना ते नक्की अजून त्याच्यामध्ये इंटरेस्ट वाढलेला असेल. आणि मे बी टाइम विल अलाव अस टू कम टुगेदर अँड डू समथिंग वंडरफुल टुगेदर for critical thinking, for philosophizing, and we very much look forward to it. So thank you once again, and here we end this discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.